Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is even earlier tonight than it was last night. Tonight, it is 7:17 p.m. I just talked to my husband. He is on his way home from a long day at work. And he is going to relax and hang out with the pups for a little bit. And so I thought, well, you know what? I am going to vlog. I've had a pretty good day today. Dogs are fed, so we can just hang out in bed and scroll through Instagram and be with the dogs for a little bit. I got up today and I went to my personal training appointment, which I hadn't gone to in quite some time. So she and I had a sit-down meeting about how I can be more committed to my lifestyle changes and to actually showing up for my appointments and achieving my goals. We had a really, really good appointment. She's so fantastic. And then afterwards, she was like, because my appointments are like a half an hour, and we had gone like 20 minutes, and she said, well, you know, do you want to work out a little bit? Are you ready to go? And I thought we would just be meeting today. And so I said, I guess I could probably just go. I've got some things to do. And she goes, well, she was like, I'm going to recommend that you, spam call. She said, I'm going to recommend that we do just 15 minutes of training today. And I was like, after this whole conversation about being committed, I was like, okay, I can do 15 minutes. So we did 15 minutes, and, oh man, about killed me, because I'm so out of shape. And, what did she call them? Touchdown somethings that we did, and she started with 20, and then we went to 15, and then we went to 10, but in between, we did the ropes that you pull. We started with 20, 15, and 10, so we went back and forth between those two exercises. We did that for 15 minutes, and then when I was done, I was, oh my God, I was so out of breath. I was so ready to go, and she said, okay, she said, so what are you doing now? And I said, well, I'm gonna go home. I mean, I'm done, right? And she said, well, you could. She said, or I'm gonna recommend that you do 15 minutes of cardio, and you can pick whatever you wanna do. You can just walk on the treadmill, or you can do, you know, the elliptical. She was like, you can ride the bike. She was like, you can do whatever you wanna do, but I'm gonna recommend that. And I said, well, what if I took a walk this evening? And then I texted, because we started this whole thing about how I'm gonna text her, and she's gonna text me, and she's gonna hold me accountable and stuff. And I said, what if I took a walk this evening, and then I texted you and told you I took the walk? And she goes, well, that's great, and you can do that. She said, but I'm gonna recommend that you do 15 minutes of cardio and stay. And I was like, okay, I'll do 15 minutes of cardio. So I walked on the treadmill for 15 minutes, and I'm really glad I did. I'm really glad. I mean, and even that is not that much of a workout, you know? But I pushed myself, and I did it today, and yeah, so I'm really proud of myself. Gotta start somewhere, right? You know? So that's where I'm at, and now I gotta get my eating under control. But this is like my #1 goal this year, is that I want to be in the best shape that I've ever been in my life. And so, I mean, it's coming up on March, and I've got to start it at some point, you know? And if I'm going to do it, I got to put the work into it. So, one day at a time, right? And then after that, I was going to get an oil change, but when I drove up, it was like all the stalls were taken, so I was like, okay, I'm not doing this today. And then I wanted to go over and see Tanya, so I drove up to the kennel, and I was talking to the girls that work there, and so we were talking for a while, and then one of them made me a cup. She gave it to Tanya, or she said she's gonna give it to Tanya, or she gave it to Tanya, I don't know, but she showed me a picture of it, and it's a coffee mug like this, but she had Pee-Pee's face put on the side of it. is that not so sweet? And so we were talking. I almost started crying because they were like, well, we miss him and we loved him so much, and he was such a little spirit around here when he would come and just, you know, walk around the office. And because Tanya always let him like be in the office and be in like the front, so like when she was working at the front desk, he'd be like running around the lobby and stuff. And so yeah. And Alex put together this video last night to one of his favorite Rufus Du Sol songs. And it was this just really, really sweet video of like all these pictures of them together and pictures of Pee-Pee and videos that I had sent Alex and stuff like that. It was just really very sweet little video for he and I to have. And then I came home because Tanya was, her husband showed up, so I was talking to her husband too. And she was taking a nap. I actually just got off the phone with her not too long ago. She was telling me all about her trip, and we might get a fountain pop later, but she's like, I gotta clean this house. So she's like, if I get the house clean, then we can go get a fountain pop. But, what was I gonna say? I just totally lost my mind. I don't even know what I was gonna say. Oh, so I was talking to her husband and the girls, and then, because I've known them forever, and Tanya has like the best employees ever. And then I went to the post office, and then I got a coffee after I worked out, and then I went home, and I had filmed my review video last night. So I had actually rendered it and put the vlog and the review video up. Like I had like uploaded it on YouTube last night, so those were ready to go. So when I came home, I published those. And then I filmed a drama video about Shane Dawson and Logan Paul and Tana Mojo and Jake Paul. And then I filmed a Peterisms video. And I was going to do a BookTube video, but I think, like, they seem to kind of, like, take 2 days for people to kind of watch them. So, unless I have a lot to talk about on that channel, I think I'm going to try to do every other day, every third day right now on my BookTube channel, so people can kind of catch up on them. I know me posting 5 videos a day is a lot for people to watch. So yeah, I did that, and then fed the dogs, and then I cleaned up the entire kitchen. It's all cleaned. I went through everything, and what else did I do? Made the bed earlier, and I think that's it. Is that it? I don't know. I feel like that's it. That was my day. Yeah. I was at talk to Tanya for a long time about her trip, and she was telling me everything about how much she loved Mexico. She had such a great time. And now I'm vlogging. Oh, I did though. I rarely ever watch a movie in the background while I'm doing stuff. And so tonight when I had all my videos done and I was like getting ready to feed the dogs and like clean the kitchen and stuff, I was like, I'm gonna put a movie on in the background. So I was watching the remake of, I actually left it on when I left. I don't know why, but sometimes I leave it on for the dogs in the background so there's like sound there, you know? I was watching When a Stranger Calls, the remake, which is actually really scary, I have to say. If you've never watched the original When a Stranger Calls, which is really funny because the script is so similar that the doctor's last name in the original is this. I don't know how I remembered this, because it's been forever since I've seen those movies. Well, actually, there's When a Stranger Calls, and then later they made a sequel to it called When a Stranger Calls Back. And When a Stranger Calls Back is terrifying. There is a scene when she's in her apartment and the killer is in there, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but you can't see it because of something. If you love scary movies, horror movies, I always mispronounce it. If you love horror movies like I do, watch When a Stranger Calls and When a Stranger Calls Back. They are two of the most terrifying horror movies ever. And I think they're scary because they're very realistic. The second one is about the killer coming back, I think. Or a different killer or something. But anyway, she like, it's but I remember this. I don't remember much about the movie, but I remember this one scene when the killer is like in her apartment or in somebody's apartment, and it's that Carol woman. I can't think of her last name. Carol Kane, is that her name? Anyway, I don't know, but she's a great actress. And oh, who's the guy that plays a detective too? I used to love him. He was in all those movies back in the day. He was the husband to somebody that was a famous actress too. I can't think of his name. He was a great actor. But anyway, because they're both in the first movie and the sequel. But in the apartment scene, anyway, I don't want to ruin it for you. You have to see it because it's like so scary. You don't even know he's in there, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, you see him. I like so want to ruin it right now, but I don't want to ruin it for people that haven't seen it. I want to see it. So watch When a Stranger Calls and When a Stranger Calls Back, the originals. But the sequel, the remake was good too. I was surprised. I was sitting there kind of watching it, and I was getting really nervous. It was making me kind of scared watching it. So I was watching that in the background. There was something I was going to say about that. What was I going to say? Oh, Dr. Madrakis, I think, is the name of the doctor who she babysits. If you don't know the story, when I was growing up, it must have come out when I was like in junior high or elementary school, maybe junior high, because I can remember we would say it to each other all the time. We would like call each other up and like prank each other on the phone, because it's about a babysitter that's babysitting. Obviously, she's a babysitter. She's babysitting for these people, and she hasn't seen the kids. The kids are asleep in their room, and she hasn't seen them. And she starts getting these calls. I actually didn't even make it to this far in the remake. I started where she's getting calls, but I didn't make it to this point. She starts getting these calls, and the calls, the prank caller says to her on the phone, "Have you checked the children?" Or "Have you checked the children lately?" or something. And she's like, "Why do you keep calling me? Why do you keep calling me?" And she goes finally upstairs, and I think the children have been murdered. And now I don't know in the remake if it's the same thing, but she calls the police at some point, and the police are like, the call is coming from inside the house, and so she knows the killer's inside the house. It's so scary. It's kind of like how Scream started a little bit. I love the Scream franchise with Drew Barrymore at the beginning and Neve Campbell. I went to the Horror Hound weekend with Melissa and Jason, and that whole Scream panel was so much fun to watch. But yeah, that's one of my favorite horror movies. I forget about that movie. I'll have to watch it again. It's so scary though. So that's that. Still looking for places to stay in Arizona. I got kind of I went home last night, and I got home early. I didn't really listen to a whole lot of my audiobook or anything last night. I just went home. I was like, I'm gonna go home and get a good night's sleep. But then I got home and I couldn't fall asleep. And that was when I started uploading my videos, started rendering them. And I sat in the chair, and I just sat there, and I ate my leftover Puccinis. And then, when I got done vlogging last night, I was at the gas station, and so I went inside, and I got like the Twix cookies and candy bar, and I got the Hershey's cookie and candy bar. This is me obviously trying to, live a healthier lifestyle. And then I got the mint and dark chocolate duo Kit Kat, and I reviewed all three of those on my review channel for today. And then I drove home. Yeah. Oh, but when I got home, I couldn't fall asleep. And I was like, darn it, like, I stay up so late. It's probably because my schedule is so screwed up. And I knew I had to get up for my training today, and I was like, if I stay up super, super late, I'm never gonna get up tomorrow. So I was trying to go to bed, reasonably early, and I got home about 2:30, sometime. I don't even remember what time it was, which for me, to go to bed that early is pretty early, and I was going to get up like 10:30, and I was going to get like everything done before I even went to my training today. And I was going to go hang out with Tanya at the kennel. I didn't know I think she worked, she just told me, yeah, she worked this afternoon, but she didn't go until like 4 or 5. I was going to go hang out there and just, spend some time with her because I haven't seen her. So I was going to get all my stuff done early, but I didn't wake up early enough to do that. And because what happened was I sat there in my chair, and I just was looking through all these resorts and Airbnbs and all this kind of stuff. And I just got kind of like obsessed looking through it last night. And although the rates for the resorts like went up, I actually Google searched last weekend or the week before, maybe a couple days before, like the best day to book like a hotel, and it's Friday and Saturday mornings, which I think is interesting. I know that booking flights, the cheapest time to book flights is Tuesdays, I was told. So what's interesting is on Saturday, last Saturday when we were in Dallas, I like looked up some resorts that I had wanted to stay in. I would love to stay at the Four Seasons in Scottsdale, but it's so expensive just for a real basic room. And but what was interesting was on Saturday when I looked, it's like gone up like $130 from Saturday to today, which I thought was really interesting. We'll see if this one hair always wants to hang right down like that. What is that about? What was that guy's name on Laverne and Shirley? Squiggy or something like that? What was his name? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Those two friends of Laverne and Shirley's that would always come over to the house, and he always wore the black biker jacket. What was his name? I loved Laverne and Shirley when I was a kid. Shmalo. Is that what they used to say? We're gonna do it. Take a chance. Dun, 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 dun. That's a show that you never see reruns of. You know, that's funny. That Happy Days. Oh my God, 8 is Enough. 8 is Enough to Make a House a Home. You never see reruns of that. That show is so boring. I don't care that they don't show reruns of that. I never liked that show, 8 is Enough. And I felt like it was always on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I would come home from like middle school. What other shows did I think were good that they don't show? Well, they never show Love Boat or Fantasy Island, but I have all the Love Boats. Well, not all of them, but I have like the first 2 seasons on DVD. I love the Love Boat. It's hard to watch Love Boat and not be happy. Like, that's just such a happy show. You know what I mean? This camera's kind of driving me crazy tonight. If you ever watched Love Boat back in the day, it's a hard show to watch and not be happy. So if you don't know about the Love Boat is about, what was the name of it? I can't remember, but it was a cruise ship, and then it had this cast that were like the crew on there, and I always wanted to be Julie. Julie Tews, I think was her name, because she was the, or maybe that was her real name in real life. That was her, she was the cruise director, I think, and then there was the doctor, and then there was Gopher, who was the bartender. No, was Gopher the bartender, or was he the doctor? Isaac was the bartender. Oh, I know. Gopher was her, like, side assistant person. And then there was Vicky, that was Captain Stubing. There was Captain Stubing. And Vicky, his daughter, she was on a lot of the shows, too. What was Julie from Love Boat? What was her real name? I, like, loved her. I was so obsessed with her. And then after that would be Fantasy Island. To plane. And I loved Fantasy Island so much. But Fantasy Island was kind of weird. There would always be like one that was like real happy, one that was romantical, and I made the word romantical up, so I always say it. And then there was one that would be like real dark, and it would be like some guy that like had been in like Vietnam, and he like wanted to go back, and like it just was. And I can remember as a kid watching that one, and it always kind of scared me a little bit. Because it would be like 3 different guests, and they would come there. Do you remember it? And then that Ricardo Montalban, he would like be telling that his assistant, he would say, "That's Judy Smith. Judy Smith just went through a divorce. She wants to meet the man of her dreams. And this weekend she's going to find out." And then he would say, "Oh, but will she find it here?" And then Ricardo Montalban would say, "She will, but she will also find out that sometimes the man of your dreams isn't what he seems." Because there's always some twist to it, you know what I mean? Okay, let's see. Was her name even Julie? I will die now if I look on here and like her real name in real life was Julie Tews. Why do I think her name was Tews? Julie Love Boat. There's a Julie Love Boat meme. Lauren Tews, and she played Julie McCoy. And then Gavin McLeod played Captain Merrill Steubing. Is that his name? Yeah. And then Ted Lang played Isaac Washington. He was the bartender. And then Bernie Kopel played Dr. Adam Brickert. Yep. And then Fred Grandy played Gopher. And then Jill Whalen played Vicky. Oh, Shara, she was on there all the time too. I feel like there was one other person though. Do you know there was a remake? There was like, it came back and it was, oh, look right here, Fantasy Island. Dynasty, these were all the shows from the 80s. Love Boat, The Next Wave, and it was from 1998 to 1999. I guess it didn't really make it. Oh, the Love Boat's Lauren Tews discusses her cocaine addiction. Oh my, I feel like I kind of knew that though. I feel like that was like a big deal at one point. Okay, let's see what she's doing these days. She's 66 years old and she lives in Braddock, Pennsylvania. Or she was born in Braddock, Pennsylvania. Is she doing anything these days? Wikipedia, let's see what she's doing. It's always interesting to me when you read about, here she is, oh you can't see. It's always interesting to me when you read about, she was on Love Boat from 1977 to 1986. It's kind of a long run. Was she a spouse? Okay, she's married to John Wassell from 77 to 82. Paolo Nonis from 85 to 95. And Robert Nadir from 1996, and he died in 2002. What's she doing now? Oh, it's culinary school, isn't it? Let's see. She wanted to star in classic 1980s TV series, the new Mike Hammer, Murder, She Wrote. Oh, I loved Murder, She Wrote. My mom and I watched that so much. T.J. Hooker and Hunter. I didn't watch those shows. In 1994, Tews moved to Seattle and focused on regional theater acting and directing across the country. In Seattle, she performed with the Tacoma Actors Guild and the Seattle Repertory Theater, as well as doing voiceovers for commercials. Tews continued her TV career and appeared in a 1998 episode of Love Boat: The Next Wave. There you go, a revival of the original series. In 2001, she had recurring roles as police detective on The Fugitive. Culinary school. Tews attended culinary school to become a cheese specialist. What? And when she is not acting, she works as a sous chef for catering companies in Seattle. Where is she acting these days? Doesn't sound like anywhere. Says here, in 1987, she suffered the loss of her 1-month-old daughter, born premature. That's so sad. I loved her. I wanted to be her. I'm gonna put best 1980s shows. Let's see what comes up. Cheers. I didn't love Cheers. The A-Team. My mom loved Cheers, so The Wonder Years. I love The Wonder Years. I watched every episode of that. The last episode of The Wonder Years is so sad. It looks like it's gonna stop in just a second. Is it? I can't really see the time. Oh yeah, it just turned orange. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Okay. Hill Street, Miami Vice, Hill Street Blues, Family Ties. I watch Family Ties. Alf, I did not watch. Oh, I watch Mork and Mindy. I watch Mork and Mindy a lot. It's not listed here though. Night Court, it was okay. MASH, I didn't understand. My mom and dad loved MASH. What was that? Married with Children. I didn't really watch that show very much. The Cosby Show, I watched every episode back in the day. The Golden Girls, loved it. Knight Rider, never watched it. Magnum P.I., hardly ever. Dukes of Hazzard, it was okay. Who's the Boss? I loved that show. Roseanne, of course, I've watched every episode. MacGyver, it was okay. Cagney and Lacey, I loved Cagney and Lacey. The Jeffersons, okay, this is so funny. Fish don't fry in the kitchen, beans don't burn on the grill. I watched The Jeffersons, and what was the other show? Shoot. The Jeffersons, and there was another show. Oh, shoot. Janet Jackson was in it, and they lived in the apartment upstairs. Why can't I think of that show? But I watched those two. They were back to back every day when I would come home from school for the longest time. I can't remember it. I'll have to look it up here in a second. Okay. Different Strokes, watched that. Janet Jackson was on that show too. Taxi, I didn't really watch that. That was kind of before my time. Star Trek, no. Growing Pains, sometimes. Dallas, loved it. Full House, sometimes. Murphy Brown, that was later like when I was in high school, didn't love it. Saved by the Bell, I was not a huge Saved by the Bell fan. WKRP in Cincinnati, Lonnie Anderson, loved her. Facts of Life, you take the good, you take the bad, you take it all, and then you have the facts of life, loved it. Dynasty, oh my god, I wanted to be Crystal Carrington, are you kidding me? Okay, Saturday Night Live, watched every Saturday with my mom. Remington Steele, no, didn't watch it. Quantum Leap, never. Doogie Howser, loved it. The Simpsons, never. I still don't watch The Simpsons. It was on while we were in our hotel room, and Alex has seen every episode. Seinfeld, I didn't really love Seinfeld. What is this one? Oh, Happy Days. Watch that. Chips, didn't watch it very often, but I did think that Eric Estrada was good looking. St. Elsewhere, didn't watch it. Murder, She Wrote, loved it. Little House on the Prairie. No, 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 no. Okay. Charlie's Angels, loved it. Look right here, they have Farrah Fawcett, and then they have, what's her name? Jacqueline Smith, she's who I want to be, Kelly Garrett, all day long. Sabrina, nobody wanted to be Sabrina. Okay, The Fall Guy, I loved Farrah Fawcett though too. Did you ever see her in those movies where they put that guy in the fireplace, the burning bed? I think that was Extremities. Oh my god, she was a great actress. People forget about those made-for-TV movies. Back in the day, made-for-TV movies were where it was at. Okay, here it is. Perfect Strangers. I didn't watch that show. The Greatest American Hero. No, I didn't watch that. But, oh my god, Bosom Buddies. It doesn't have it here, but I used to watch Bosom Buddies every week. I loved that show. Designing Women. Loved it. I'm probably Designing Women and Roseanne were probably the two shows I watched the most. He-Man something. He-Man, it's a cartoon. The Master of the Universe, didn't watch it. Family Matters, didn't watch it. I didn't watch this. Different World. I watched Different World. I love that show. Was that with Queen Latifah? UNITY. I love that. Okay. And then, oh, who's the boss? Watch that. Janet Jackson TV show. What was that TV show where they lived like in Cabrini Green in Chicago? Janet Jackson TV shows. Good Times. How could I ever forget that? That was such a great show. Fame, loved Fame. Yeah, Facts of Life I used to watch all the time too. Fish don't fry in the kitchen. Those were some great TV shows back in the day. We don't have TV shows that are as good as that anymore, do we? I mean, we do, but I just feel like the sitcoms aren't as funny anymore or something. I think the difference is like the sitcoms, like they were funny, but they were really endearing too. You know what I mean? Jane the Virgin I watched for a long time, and it kind of reminded me of that. Alex watched every episode, I was the one that started that, because I had seen her win, the main actress, she had won for Jane the Virgin on something, I can't remember, maybe the Golden Globes, and so I started watching it because of that. And then Alex watched it, he just texted me, he started watching it because he didn't know that it was modeled after a Venezuelan telenovela, and so he started watching it and he loved it, and then we watched it together, and I think it was like 3 or 4 seasons that we watched. I actually, when we were in Miami, the first time that we went to Miami, not Fort Lauderdale and Miami, because we had done that with our friend that we went to go visit this weekend in Dallas, Demi, but one year, the first year that we went to just Miami, and like we had driven down there and we had a car. That was the year. Oh, did we go to Fort Lauderdale first? I think we went to Fort Lauderdale and stayed at the W for 2 nights. And then we went to Miami maybe that year, but we drove. And so we drove like 2 years. Well, the year that we went with Demi, we drove too, so that would have been 3 years. And then after that, Alex said, I'm not driving again. It's too long. It's a 21, 22 hour drive. He said, I'm not doing this again. I don't care. We don't need a car. He said, I'm flying. It's 2 hours and we're losing a whole day. And I totally agree with him. Plus, the flights to Miami are not that expensive. But we were driving around, and I said, I want to find Jane Villanueva's house, because Jane the Virgin. And if you looked it up on Wikipedia, it said, like, where she lived, or on some website, it said, Jane Villanueva lives at such and such. It had her address. My breaks have sounded kind of weird the last couple days. It said where her address was in Miami. And so we went there to try to find it, but the street didn't exist. But there's like a spot on my camera. Oh, well, it would be on this, wouldn't it? He kept on watching it. He watched all the seasons. I stopped watching it when, why can't I think her name? She had twins. Why can't I think of her name? It started with a P. She was Raphael's first wife. She was shady down. I can't remember what her name was. But anyway, I never make it through a whole series of a show. I kind of get bored at some point. Alex keeps up with these shows. I don't know how he does it. He watches so many TV shows. He's watched Grey's Anatomy forever. He just balls and balls and balls watching that show. And do you guys remember ER? It's over, isn't it? Like, it ended. Oh, you know what was sad? I don't know why it was sad. I don't even watch the show. But I saw that Modern Family only has like 5 more episodes until it's over. It's always interesting to me when they decide to end a show, you know? What's her name? She's beautiful, isn't she? I really like her. I can't remember what her name is. I have to go to the bathroom, but I don't want to stop and go in anywhere, so I shouldn't have been drinking all this coffee. No, 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 no. What did he say? He's like, I stopped by Target and got us toothpaste. No, 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 no. I loved that show so much. It was so homey, wasn't it? Restoring driver to settings. I don't know what that means. It just did something to my car. I don't know what it did, but then it started playing my music. Call Your Girlfriend by Robin. It started playing. So I moved it back to the radio. I think we become so attached to TV shows and movies and books and series and things like that because we spend so much time, like, you know, in our personal life doing that. Like, I have to say, like, some TV shows and book series that I've read and stuff, like, I became so attached to, like, the characters or the cast, you know? Like, when I watched Lost, I was, like, obsessed with that show. I mean, obsessed. I bawled my eyes out in the finale to that show. And so many people, and I'm not going to ruin it for anybody if you haven't watched it, but you should really, really, really watch Lost if you haven't seen it. It is such a fantastic show. It's so packed. I mean, first of all, you never have any clue what's going on. And so every episode is, you know, like, better than the last. And the characters are just so well portrayed. And just, I don't know, like, I don't know that I could watch it again because I know everything that's going to happen. I don't know that I couldn't watch it again. But I loved the guy, I can't think of his name, that played Fox, that played the main character, and he was on Party of Five. I loved Party of Five when it first came out. That was another show that I watched religiously. I actually started watching it when I got sober because there was an episode on when I was in treatment, and so I started watching it. I think his name was Charlie on the show. Lost, maybe? Or on Party of Five? I can't remember. But I started watching Party of Five, and then I watched it, like, until it was over. And I watched, like, every episode of that. What's his name? Matthew Fox? I think that's his name. Or is that the other guy? The other brother. But he was on Lost, and he was fantastic on Lost. And then the other guy that played, or was his name Jack? I think his name was Jack. And then the other guy that had the longer hair, he was really good too. I really liked his character on there. But the last episode of Lost, like, you know, when it came out, because people had no idea how they were going to end it, they had no idea really what it was, what had happened. And if you haven't watched it, like in the last 2 episodes, like I'm not going to ruin it for you, but like so much happens in the last 2 episodes that you're kind of like, what's going on? And you really don't know until like the last 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes of the last episode, what the entire show is all about. But I have to say, for me, in all honesty, there is not a better way that it could have ended. Like, it just was such perfection. And I just remember sitting there. Our setup of our condo used to be different. The couch, it was how my mom had it, and the couch was in front of the fireplace, and then the TV was turned that way. And I can just remember sitting there, and Alex was asleep, and I just was like bawling my eyes out watching it. It just was like, I just thought it was fantastic. I thought it was just done so well, and the whole thing made sense to me. Every bit of it made sense to me, and I thought it was just beautifully, beautifully, beautifully done. And I don't feel like we have had a show like that since, that really I was that excited to watch every episode. This guy is dying to get by me. He's got places to go. Okay. I can't think of a show that I've been like that excited to watch since then. Trying to think. I will tell you, the other show that I love is The Killing. It's on Netflix, all 4 seasons. It started on AMC, and then the last, I think, season was done by Netflix. That show is so well done, and I have to say, okay, I don't want to ruin the ending of that either for you, but the last scene in that show, oh my God. I was so happy. I was so happy. I loved that show so much. So The Killing is about this woman, and she is going to move, like the day it starts, or when it starts, she's going to move to, it takes place in Seattle. She's going to move from Seattle to, what do you call it? I think San Diego, somewhere in California, to marry her boyfriend, to be with her husband, or to be with this guy that she's been dating. And she grew up in foster care, and she had a really hard life, and she's got a son from like a previous marriage or previous like whatever. This woman has been in something else. Why can't I think of what else she was in? She's such a great actress. She's so good. And she has to train this new she's a homicide detective, and she has to train this new homicide detective who's actually an addict in recovery. And he is a phenomenal actor, because he later played the opponent, not the opponent, that's what we wouldn't call it, the guy that is running against the president in House of Cards. He plays that guy. He's been in a couple things, and every time I see him in something, he's so completely different. But anyway, in The Killing, he played an addict in recovery, and he wore like this long trench coat. He's always like smoking 5,000 cigarettes, and he was so good in it. And so that day, like, she's supposed to be like boxing her stuff up and leaving, and her like superintendent or lieutenant or whatever it is said, will you take him out there? Like, there's been like this killing, they found a body. And so she goes out. Well, she becomes obsessed with the case, and then she doesn't want to leave. So the whole first season is about that. The second season is about the same case. And the third and fourth season are about different cases. And the last season is so good. The third season wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't bad. But it was interesting. It was more political. The fourth season is really, 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 really good. It was about I think it was about local politics, if I remember correctly. But it also talks a lot about addiction in the show as well. Like, there's a lot of like... there's a lot of things that are said about addiction. The only thing I didn't like about the whole show, and it was just a personal thing. Okay, I had to stop it because I started kind of telling a personal story that I related to my issue that I had with the show. But I just will say, it was a recovery issue that I had with the show, and it was just something that they portrayed that I just personally had an issue with, but I started getting into a personal story about it, so I'll just leave that there. But anyway, I love that show. I think it's fantastic. So you should check out The Killing if you haven't watched it either. I need some new shows to watch. I really want to watch that Unbelievable. I keep on forgetting to start that whenever I go to start a show. Do you ever have, like, when you're starting Netflix, you always have, like, that show you're going to start next? Like, my next show is Grace and Frankie. I feel like they keep on popping the seasons out. I love Grace and Frankie so much, though. But I always have a hard time, like, starting it and getting into it. And then when I'm a couple episodes into it, I really, like, love it. But I'm really into reading, like, mysteries and watching true crime. I mean, I'm so just kind of, like, into all of that right now that it's hard for me to get interested, really, in anything else. Which I know is weird, but... Come on, light. Thank you. I'm trying to think of what else I have going on right now in my life. It was funny, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, like a YouTube friend, and they were like, I have so much going on right now, like I'm so busy. And I was like, I feel like everybody I talk to, just in life in general, has so much going on, and I feel like I don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that. I just feel like everybody that I know has, like, so many things going on. They have this project and that project and this project, and they're doing this. I mean, like, in my personal life, not just on YouTube. It just happened to be that I was talking to somebody from YouTube. And I feel like everybody that I talk to is like, oh my God, I'm so busy, I have this. And I don't feel that busy. I just don't, you know? Like, I mean, it's kind of nice, but at the same time, I'm like, why am I not busy? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Either that, or I'm doing a better job, like, structuring my life and handling things. I could get up earlier, though. That would have a little bit more structure to my day. That would probably be a good thing, right? You guys, my last two vlogs have been really long. I did like an hour and 33 minutes or something like that. I only know that it was an hour and 33 minutes because somebody commented it and said that it was an hour and 33 minutes. And then I did, I have my heat. Okay, you know how I complain about my heat all the time? Well, I have sweat shorts on right now and Birkenstock sandals, and it's 30 degrees. And I am so toasty warm. I just was like, oh my God, my legs feel so good right now. It's like so toasty warm in here. Did you ever just notice small things like that? But anyway, oh, I've never seen that house down there before, and I drive by here all the time. A little A-frame house. But, what was I gonna say? I'm so all over the place, I don't even know. What was I saying before I said that? I've lost my mind. It was probably really good too, wasn't it? It doesn't matter. You guys are like, ah. Oh, no, I know what I was saying. See, I said you guys, and that helped me trigger my memory. They say if you wiggle your toes, it'll help you remember stuff because it sets off neurons in your brain. I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, my last two vlogs have been really long. Somebody said an hour and 33 minute vlog, so it must have been an hour and 33 minutes. But I think last night was like an hour and 47 minutes. I was like, dang, that's a long one. That's a long vlog. Lisa's still waiting for a 3-hour vlog. I know. There's a couple of you out there waiting for the 3-hour vlog. It'll happen one of these days. I'll have to do it early because you know what I noticed was that like a fully charged battery takes me like an hour and 10 minutes, something like that. You know what I just realized? I only have one battery with me. So a fully charged battery takes me like an hour and 10 minutes because my other battery is charging at home because I had filmed all my videos on it. And, so that would be, what, 2 hours and 20 minutes? So I would need to have 2 batteries. Oh my God, my mouth is so bad. I would need to have 2 batteries and then, like, film it and then stop it. Well, I guess I could film one, go home, charge the other one, then film keep on filming, and then go home and get the battery that I was charging. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you get it? So I film with one battery, and then I replace it, and once I've replaced it, I go home and you guys get it. I take the other battery home and charge it. I know you don't need life instructions like that, but it helps me. So then you take the other battery home. I take the other battery home and I charge it, and then I go, when I'm done with that battery, and I go get the new battery. I needed to really, that wasn't for you, that was for me. I needed to work that through my head so that then I would be like, okay, now I know what I need to do, right? If I'm ever gonna do a 3-hour vlog, I'll do it. Because I'm always like, oh, I'd have to do 20 minutes here, half an hour there, blah, blah, blah. Although that would be the easier way, is through like a course of a day to like film, you know, like 20 minutes here, half an hour there, 20 minutes there, and then it would all add up throughout the day. That would be an easier way to do it. If I did that throughout my days anyway, my vlogs would just, they would be naturally longer, wouldn't they? Because I would have more pieces to just put together. Oh man. I need to get gas, and I'm gonna have to stop and use the restroom because I just drank all that coffee. Do you know what? I said last night I was gonna drink that cold brew coffee. Their lights are so bright. Did you see this? What is going on? I was gonna drink that cold brew coffee that I got from could you please turn our lights down a little bit? Starbucks that I reviewed the night before, and I put it in my refrigerator, and I didn't drink it last night because I was like, I don't think I need that much caffeine, which then I got a Dr. Pepper, so it wouldn't have mattered, right? But maybe I'll drink it later and listen to a little bit of my audiobook or something. I'll just see what Alex wants to do, how much of his TV show he wants to watch. If he doesn't, like if he's going to watch TV shows and I can drive around and listen to my audiobook or something. I guess I could take a nap, but I'm not really tired. Getting up and going working out today really gave me a lot of energy. I forgot what it's like to work out early. And there weren't that many people at the gym either. I was like, I need to start going to the gym earlier in the day. Like, I need to do that. And I'm like, I could go to the gym right now. I could go twice in one day. Can you even imagine if I did that? I'd be so proud of myself. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know that I would want to watch Little House on the Prairie again. You know, sometimes when I watch things, they make me kind of sad. Like movies, too, that I used to love from back in the day. I keep a list of all these movies that I want to watch, but it's funny because most of them are comedies, you know, or like those adventure comedies from the 80s or romantic comedies. And like Outrageous Fortune or Ruthless People or Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the Nile. But what's funny, Into the Night, which is one of my favorites, I don't typically think about like watching old dramas I used to watch, with the exception of like To Kill a Mockingbird. I love that movie, but I haven't even watched it in forever. I think like Out of Africa, I don't know that I would watch that movie. I mean, it's a great movie, but I don't know that I would want to watch it again. Trip to Bountiful would make me really, really sad, I think. It's a great movie, but I remember my mom said to me one time, I said, you don't listen to any of your folk music that you used to listen to back in the day? Because, you know, she would listen to, like, Where Is All the Time Gone, Judy Collins, you know, and, you know, Teach Your Children by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And I said to her one time, I said, Mom, you don't listen to the same music that you listen to. And she said, it makes me kind of sad, in all honesty. My mom had a friend that listened to a lot of reggae music, and so my mom, I think she made my mom a tape or something, and it was like all Bob Marley and Peter, I can't remember his name, is it Pete Tosh? And it was all these reggae artists, and my mom loved it. And she would walk, my mom was a big walker, she would walk every day, and when it was cold outside, she would walk in the mall, she would just do loops around the mall, and she'd always do those surveys. She knew all those survey people that worked at the mall. I had a friend of mine that was sober, and he worked at that. Like, she knew him from that, but he worked at the survey place. Do you know what I'm talking about, those surveys? And they would just walk with her and ask her questions, like, you know, how often do you buy Pepsi or whatever? It's like those kind of, I can't remember what it's called. The company's called something. But anyway, my mom loved to walk at the mall. And she'd tell me things like, oh, I saw it. They're having a sale at the Gap. How do you know? Well, I was there. I walked before the mall. She walked before the mall opens. Like, you can get in the mall, but the mall's not open. She would go there and walk before the mall would actually open. But anyway, when it was nice outside, she always walked outside. And so she listened to that. And then one year, I made a tape for her, and it was like Janet Jackson. She loved Janet Jackson. And it was the band Garbage. She loved Garbage, the band. And it was always like dance music. And my mom loved it. She was like, oh my God, this is happy music. It makes me so happy. She didn't want to listen to sad music anymore. She wanted to listen to music that made her happy. And that's what she did. From then on, she listened to mostly happy music, you know? She would say, I love that stuff from when I was growing up. I love the folk music and all that kind of stuff, but it makes me sad. She's like, it reminds me of the past. And she's like, I don't want to live in the past. I want to live, you know, in today. And I want to remember how fun it was and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So she wouldn't listen to a lot of that older music because it just made her real sad, which I get that. You know, I listened to, like, in high school, like The Cure and The Smiths and New Order and stuff. It doesn't make me sad, but it's a different kind of music. I think if it was, like, sometimes when I listen to, like, Michelle Shocked or R.E.M., like the slower music, 10,000 Maniacs, stuff that I listened to back then, like some of the slower stuff, that does make me sad. This car thinks it's going to come down here, and this is like a one-way lane. You can't come down, you can't go out that way. I bet you anything they turn and go that way. He tried to, but he realized he couldn't. Alright, you guys, I will be back in just a few. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I went and got something to drink. I got this bubbly, which I've never had before, which is strawberry flavor with other natural flavors, sparkling water. I'm not usually somebody that likes sparkling water, but we'll try it. My gas was $52.18, but I was almost on empty when I filled it up. This place was like packed. These people were all out here and they like all knew each other. And they're like, yeah, you gonna be at the bar tonight? Yeah, we'll do a shot together. I'll get you drunk. It was like this guy and this girl talking. And he was like, I'm gonna get you drunk in the first 3 minutes. She's like, all right. And I went inside and the guy's like, he was like, you look exactly like Kenny Rogers. I go, well, that's one I haven't heard before. He goes, man, he can sing. I go, he sure can. Oh, Lord. Ouch, that kind of hurt. Man, he can sing. Now I am starting to get a little tired. I was kind of like putting the minutes together in my head. I was like, how long have I vlogged? I was like, I don't think I've vlogged that long. And I was like, I looked on the camera and I was like, I have vlogged for like 45 minutes plus, 45, 50 minutes. Now let's smell this. You guys will get an exclusive review over here of the strawberry bubbly. I've seen these and I haven't had it yet, so. There's no alcohol in this, is there? I don't think there is. I'm almost positive there's not. Here's to the next sip. No calories, no sweeteners, all smiles. It was with the water. Strawberry bubbly, strawberry flavor with other natural flavor, sparkling water. Does it even have ingredients in here? There's literally no ingredients on this thing. Bottled water. I thought by law, I know this is so stupid, but I would freak if it was like a wine cooler or something. What's it called? Bubbly. Oh, hi there. We're bubbly, flavored sparkling water. Crack a smile, 15 refreshing, bubbly flavors, no calories, no sweeteners, all smiles, 15 natural flavors, whole cans with me. What are the other flavors, I wonder? 15 delicious flavors, it says. Watermelon bubbly, pineapple bubbly. Ooh, I like pineapple. Raspberry, strawberry, peach, no thanks. Lime, they have that one in there. Grapefruit, no thanks. Orange, sure. Strawberry, that's one I have. Mango, I'd like that one. I like mango. Apple, that would be good. Lemon would be good. It'd be fine, I guess. Cherry would be okay. I don't really like cherry. Pineapple, watermelon, blackberry, that'd be good. Cranberry would be fine, I guess. Raspberry, peach. I can't stand peach water or anything. Here's the next sip. We travel in packs. Their website's real cute. Contact. Let's see if I wanted to contact them. What would I say? Chat with them. Looking for anything specific? Browse by category. Email us, chat with us, talk with us, connect with us. But you can only call them Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Did you guys ever see the movie Pump Up the Volume? I love that movie so much with Christian Slater. Do you guys remember that movie in high school when he starts his own radio station? And the girls are walking. Her name's that Samantha girl. I love her. She was in a couple different movies. But anyway, she was in that movie too where they like were country music singers. Do you remember that? Oh, I love that movie so much. Where they go to Nashville and she sings that song at the end and it's so fantastic. And she and her friend are like walking into school and they've set up like a crisis like center, and it says like crisis center open like 8 to 3, and they're like walking in and she goes, it's only open from 8 to 3. And the one girl goes, it's 7:30. She goes, what am I gonna do? And the other girl goes, it's 3:15. I'm totally fucked. Like, have a crisis, but not after hours or you're screwed. Oh, let's try this. I haven't tried it yet. I got a little sidetracked there. I just think that all sparkling water tastes like tonic or club soda. It's okay. I knew I shouldn't get it. I knew I wouldn't love it. I don't love sparkling water. Tanya hates sparkling water. It's okay though. I'll let Alex try it when I get home because I'm gonna be home in just a little bit. He might like it, you know. I did like this review and I said, oh, I'm gonna give this to Tanya. I'm gonna give it. Somebody was like, they were like, I can't believe that the things you don't like, you end up giving to Tanya. Y'all don't do that. You don't re-gift stuff. Like if I try a food and I don't like it, maybe Tanya will love it. You know, if it's something that I don't want, why wouldn't I give it to her to try? She might end up loving it. We don't love the same things. Y'all don't do that with your friends. Here, and I'll say to her, I won't even lie about it. Like, oh my God, you're gonna love this. I'll be like, girl, I didn't like it, but you try it. You might like it, you know? I can't tell you how many things I've tried that I did not like for my review channel, like frappuccinos, that I end up driving right over to the kennel and giving to one of the girls that works for her. She's got one guy and a couple girls that work for her, and they always end up loving it. And I'm like, here, you have it. You love it. Drink it. I don't want it. And they're always real thankful for it. So anyway, they're always real thankful for it. But no, they sometimes do. And sometimes they'll be like, oh, I don't like it, here, you try it. And then somebody else will like it, you know? But just because I review something and I don't like it doesn't mean that, you know, I mean, a lot of people in my reviews are like, oh, that's so funny that you didn't like it, because I absolutely loved it, you know? It's funny. So, anyway, I don't know what I'm going to review tomorrow. I had 2 things on my counter that I completely forgot that I was going to review, so I might review one of those, because I know the food stuff gets old after a while. People are like, you just review food over and over and over and over again. I know, but it's like real easy to do, especially when like somebody will send me a drink from Starbucks, or I'll be like, oh, this is out, like I want to try this, because I want to try it, right? So then I'm like, oh, I want to go try this. But I know that people get real tired of just seeing me do like the food ones over and over and over again. But I like doing the food ones, they're fun. I guess it's not too bad. I don't mind it. It was kind of growing on me. The strawberry flavor is strong. I like it. It kind of reminds me of something. Do you know what it reminds me of? This is such a bad analogy. But you know, like when you're at the very bottom, like this is how intense kind of the strawberry taste is a little bit. I mean, it's not like drinking like a strawberry soda or something, but it's more intense than flavored water that I typically get. You can taste it a little bit more. You know when you get to like if you get like a strawberry slushie and you get to the very bottom of it, that's what it tastes like. Yeah, where it's almost kind of like syrupy. It doesn't even have like a mixed in taste. It's just like syrupy. That's what it kind of tastes like. It's not bad though. I know people always laugh when I'll say something that's like so negative about a product, and then I'm like, but it's not bad. But it's not. Like, I mean, it's if somebody handed me one of these, okay, I'll tell you this. I definitely, because I don't like that LaCroix or LaCroix or whatever that water is, LaCrap. I don't like that stuff. This is definitely better than that. I mean, it's almost kind of the same thing. See, this is what I do. It's almost kind of the same thing, but it's a little bit better. I don't know how to explain it. Like, if both were sitting in front of me, I would pick this one. I think partly because of the can. Are you guys sold on packaging like that? I am so somebody that gets so sold on packaging. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rest of the evening. My God, I've got my vlog. I'm not gonna vlog for a whole lot longer because I've gone for almost like an hour. I thought my battery was flashing, but it wasn't. I've gone for almost an hour. And I think I'm gonna kind of keep it at that tonight because the last two have been really, really long. And then, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might read a little bit at home or listen to my audiobook or watch Cheer. I don't know what I'm gonna do. What am I gonna do? I could go back and work out, but I don't really feel like it because I went earlier today, and I'm very proud of myself. So I don't need to be even more proud than I already am. I think I did a good job for today. Gold star, Peter. I guess this is kind of what normal people do, isn't it? They get up and they do their stuff during the day, and then they're done by like 8:30. I mean, they're usually done by 5:30 or 6, right? So for me, like, this is even stranger. Yeah, but I am kind of just like done for the day, I guess. I don't have to wake up at, you guys are like, 3-hour vlog, 3 hours. No, that's not gonna happen tonight. I don't have enough to talk about. I need on a day when I have a lot to talk about. I'm ready for spring. Like, if the weather, and I said this last night, but like if the weather isn't gonna, I mean, I feel like it's been 30 when I've been vlogging, like between 30 and 34 for like the last month. If it's not going to, I mean, I'm ready for spring. Let's just put it that way. I don't need to explain it. If it's not gonna get warmer, I mean, if it's not gonna snow and we're not gonna have snowstorms and blizzards and all that kind of stuff that's gonna keep us inside, having cozy date nights, making hot chocolate and all that kind of romantical stuff, then I'm ready for spring. I'm ready to plant my flowers and make my patio nice. And, you know, none of this kind of in-between weather. Like, let's be all in or all out. Like, I'm ready for the warm weather. You know what I mean? Do you guys ever feel like that? I'm ready for it. Like, this is crap. It's just cold. It's like, and it's not even that cold. I mean, hell, I had shorts on today and a t-shirt, and I wasn't even that chilly. I was cold from like the car, or the house to the car, and that was it. I wasn't even cold when I went into the gym today. I was just like, here I am. And everybody else, nobody was wearing, well, there were a few people that had coats on, but most people didn't have coats when they just came right on in. Everything's even still open. Dang, it's early. Everything's still open. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's real weird. You know it's an early vlog when I'm looking at restaurants and I'm like, well, Mark Pie's Chinese, which I love, it's still open. You know what I mean? Like it closes at 9. It's got a half an hour left if I wanted that. Tanning bed place is open. Little Caesars, Bank of America, it's closed. Noble Romans is open. Hardee's is open. I love Hardee's so much. Oh my God. Their Beyond breakfast sandwich is beyond. It is so good. That Beyond fake sausage, it is so good. CVS is still open. It's not even the 24-hour CVS. Dunkin' Donuts is still open. Oh my God, I could buy all kinds of things. The Roost, the liquor store, I don't need anything from there. The Foot Spa, all the places are open. The gas station, well, it's always open. It's crazy. Everything's still open. Like a different world. A whole new world. Oh, a whole new world. A something tapestry of, I don't know that song. Is that from Aladdin? We watched that movie. It was okay. Alex watched the one where they had the live action with the people and stuff like that. Is that what you call it, live action? Or is it just a movie? I don't know. I've been talking to myself so long today because I've made so many videos and stuff like that. I feel like I'm starting to get giggly. So I should probably get off here anyway before I start talking about some just really random stupid stuff. Oh, that's called my vlog. That's what I usually do over here, is I talk about just random stupid stuff. Do you get it? I'm getting silly. Okay, so it's time for Peter to end this vlog. I'm gonna get off here now and leave it at about an hour. I think I'm around an hour somewhere. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching today, whatever you did. If you were doing your makeup or making dinner or driving around town, getting your kids from school, hey kids, or if you were, you know, I don't know, forcing your boyfriend or your husband or your wife or partner, hey, everybody, to watch this, whatever. I hope you guys are having, what is tomorrow, Thursday? I hope you guys are having an amazing Thursday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most for your day. Do something really enjoyable and fun today. Even if you have to work tomorrow or today, you know, figure out a way to park somewhere different. Park in a different parking spot. It might change up your day, you know what I mean? Go to a different place for lunch today. Try something different, you know? Do something today that will make your future self proud 5 or 10 years down the road. And yeah, and when you look back on today, you'll be like, I'm really happy that I did that. Like, see, I'm really happy that I went to the gym today. I'm very proud of myself. That was my thing today. Now I can just have fun the rest of the day. All the hours that I have left. And if nobody else has told you this today, and if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you say, I love you, you are valuable, you are important, you matter, you are worthy of good things, you are beautiful, you are handsome. Today is gonna be a phenomenal, amazing, wonderful, great day. And 2020 is your year. You are gonna be successful, you're gonna achieve all of your dreams this year, or at least get them started, and it's gonna be a really great year. And make sure that, I was gonna say, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you again. Maybe you need to hear it twice, I don't know. I forgot I had said it. And most importantly, make sure that you do, make sure that you let somebody know in your life today how important they are to you. Call them up, say, hey, I just wanna let you know I love you. Stop them on the street, send them a little note. God, we don't send postcards and notes anymore, do we? I need to do more of that. I'm gonna go tomorrow and get some note cards, and I'm gonna start sending note cards to some of my people in my life. Yeah, just let them know how much they mean to you. Practice random acts of kindness and don't tell anybody. Watch my vlog that I did today, or my Peterisms video that I did today. It was all about that. It was about random acts of kindness and not telling anybody, okay? Not telling anyone, it said. It was all in accentuated letters, highlighted letters in the book. Don't tell anyone. So, what is our goal for today? Practice random acts of kindness and don't tell anyone. Anyway, I love you guys and thank you for watching this vlog. If you made it this far, give this a big thumbs up and a blue heart in the comment section below. I love you guys and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. Okay, I'm not gonna do this every time because it's gonna start becoming just, you know, too much. But for all those of you out there that expect now, 3rd time in a row, a little extra I love you, or you need to hear it today. If you're somebody that just needed to hear an extra I love you, here you go. I love you, and I hope you have a great day today. Bye. Love ya.